This is Ian Miller,
Going on, guys? It's Andrew.
and welcome to another episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith. Before we get started with tonight's episode, I'd like to apologize that we have not posted for at least a week. I have not been feeling well. I'm all right now. I'm good, but I was not feeling well.
How you feeling now? You all right?
Perfect.
All right, he's better now. So, got a lot of topics to cover today.
Yeah. Originally, we were going to talk about the Oscars, but
Yeah, but
we'll get to that in a bit. Right
mhm,
now, let's talk about what's actually happened recently. Yeah, we've had a couple of announcements happening. One big one in particular, and this is in reference to Good Burger 2. That's right, you heard me. There's now going to be a sequel to that beloved Paramount movie from Keenan and Kel from 1997. Why? Why are we getting a sequel to this movie? Of all the things we could have gotten a sequel to, why Good Burger 2?
apparently it's been in production for years. Um, I like the first one. The first one was funny and entertaining. It was, it was what a comedy, what a comedy movie should be, I guess. But to make another one, I mean, I didn't see them making another one after this one. I honestly didn't. I just don't know what they can do now in this movie.
Has it been 25 years since the first one?
You said 97, right?
Yeah. I do remember.
Yeah, it's it's about yeah, about 25, 26 years.
Yeah. Now, folks, this was a very beloved, sketch from the sketch comedy series All That from
Hmm.
Nickelodeon. I loved watching that series growing up because that was the kid version of Saturday Night Live. I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah, no, it was. I agree.
And it was one of the first films, the first projects that actually spawned out of a sketch comedy, from Nickelodeon. They figured, let's just take this great sketch and make it into a movie. And Good Burger is very well beloved. You know, I personally love it as well. Love Kenny and Kel. Always have. It would be great seeing them, but they're 20 plus years older, and
Hmm.
I don't think the gag will work as well as they did when they were younger. I don't know. I could be very much wrong. I hope to God I am wrong. Because in these type of situations, it really works out. It really works out when you have a sequel that's been announced 20 plus years after the first movie. But we've been proven wrong. I would be proven wrong this time.
Yeah, I mean, with sequels, they're some are some are better than most, but in for the most part, sequels generally don't fare well than the first one. Um, perfect. I mean, it's not really comedy, but and I know we haven't seen it yet, but look at what Shazam's doing right now. Um, it's in the box office and it's getting off to a really slow start. Like I said, I mean, I can't compare Shazam to Good Burger. Obviously, it's two different genres, two different um movies and stuff, but what I'm saying is some sequels, if even if it's like 10 or 15 years, or even if it's maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, Um, some sequels may not be as great as the first one was.
I'll give
That's pretty much what I'm saying. But
I'll give you a perfect example. 1996, we were introduced from 20th Century Studios' Independence Day. That was a mega hit. You know, one of the most beloved sci-fi movies that there is. Most quotable. In
mhm,
2016, the filmmakers decided to release a sequel, Independence Day Resurgence, which takes place 20 years
right.
after the events of the first film. It was a box office dud.
Well, I mean, I feel like because it didn't have Will Smith.
That was one of the things, but also the story, it was not the original more. It was 20 years after the fact,
Right.
when you should have done maybe 5 years after the first movie. But what can you do?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to think of another sequel that could have had like I don't know. Not at the top of my head. I can't really see like what sequels were actually maybe worse than what you said. I mean, perfect example you said was Independence Day,
Yeah.
and they should have just left it at that. They should have just left it at one movie. Um, um, but yeah, I mean, it just goes back to the original point that I was making that with the example that you had, should just leave classics, classic movies, alone, and not make any sequels. Even if the stars isn't coming back and it's you don't have a great story, you should just leave it the way it is.
One more example. The Jaws film series. You had one great movie, Jaws, 1996, 1975, by Steven Spielberg, right? One great
Hmm.
movie. Then you had three sequels, Jaws 2, Jaws 3D, and Jaws for the Revenge. You should have stopped at one, Universal. You should have stopped at one. But we don't know if Good Burger 2 is going to be good. It may be great.
Hmm.
I'm hoping it is. I hope to God it doesn't fall with these other, films that we just said. But so, too soon to tell. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, here's one more example. I don't know if you agree with me. Before we move on, um, let's just try a little bit. If I'm reaching a little bit, tell me. The Terminator franchise. Um, do you think they should have left it at one? Do you think maybe they should have left it at, just two? I mean, three wasn't that great, and then the other sequels, weren't that great either.
I think they should just let that at two because
Okay.
we're able to build, from one and up the scale,
Hmm.
up the story. The rest of
Hmm.
them, no, because despite what people think, nobody wants to see the world end in the third movie. Nobody wants to see it
Right.
because you go to a movie like that, you want to see the good guys win. You know, you don't want to see the end of the world. And that's what happened
Exactly.
in Terminator 3. And then, of course, with the other films, Terminator Salvation, we get to see the war years. Then the other two, they did try to undo 3 and 4, which was not successful.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's my opinion on that. So they should have stopped at 2. So if Good Burger 2 is good, I'm not sure I want to see Good Burger 3.
I again, I think they should have just left it at one, but I doubt they're gonna make a three. But we'll see how the story is on this. I don't know.
Okay, what can I tell you? Well, on to the next subject. On this next topic,
Yeah.
it's a pretty big topic, and we do have to bring on another expert, which shall be coming on in a second. Yes, the topic is going to be big. So please welcome a very good friend, Andrew Feller.
Trying to connect to the audio here. Ah, there he is.
Hello.
Welcome,
Andrew,
Andrew.
welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a while since you've been on the show, so
It has.
um so our topic right now that we're going over is the Oscars.
Yes.
So
yes.
everyone here knows that you're a big movie guy since you were last on the show. You gave us your top 10 lists or whatever it was last time. So what did you think of the Oscars this year?
Great Oscars.
Tell us why.
They got everything right. Everything everywhere all at once. Really deserved all the recognition it got. Best movie. Fantastic. Great choice. Usually I'm not happy with the best movie choice, but great. Yeah, great job over there. Like you definitely pat yourself on the back there, Oscars. Um as far as best actor, again, Brendan Fraser, great job. I thought it was gonna be Austin Butler. I got a little nervous about that. I mean, I'd be happy if he won, but great job on Brendan Fraser. Again, for director, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Fantastic. And then for actor, no, and then actress, oh yeah, Michelle Yeoh, I was so happy with. Great job. And then the supporting actor from Everywhere, Everywhere at Once. I apologize, I don't know his name. All I know from Short Round. That's it. But great job on that. The supporting actress was a little. I mean, I was so happy Jamie Lee Curtis won. I really love her. I've been such a big fan of her since I've seen her, in the beginning. But I was a little shocked that Angela Bassett did not win. Again, she was great, but so happy she won for Oscar.
Well, I feel like we've seen it over the years that superhero movies don't get awarded with the big nominees, the big whatever those things, best picture or best actor. We've seen that in the past that superhero movies don't, or superhero actresses who's in the movie don't get the Oscars or the Golden Globe for it.
Yes, but there are two exceptions. One is The Dark Knight, and I was supporting best supporting actor, Heath Ledger, one for
That's
that.
true.
Joaquin Phoenix, one for Joker. But again, that was
Yeah.
pretty much a character study, of what I mean, like that would be like. Not really. Essentially, has to deal with the comic book universe that is Batman, but still, there are exceptions.
True.
Of
Yeah.
course.
No. You're right. But yeah, I mean, there's like you said, like Angela Bassett. I feel like she should have won, but again, um, like you said, I'm happy for Jamie Lee Curtis that she won. So
Yeah, yes. I felt that Jimmy Kimmel carried the show well, or he did a nice job hosting. Um, my only criticism on the Oscars was two awards that I wanted to win did not win. I would have liked that John Williams won for best score, but again, if you're going up against Everywhere, Everything All at Once, you're not winning. Like you should just go home, you know. Um, and then
well,
I felt like
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, you're fine. I
No,
felt like you know, I don't know, I never even heard of this movie. Like R&R for best score. I don't know what the hell that movie is. Um, but I felt like, either like Rihanna for Black Panther or Lady Gaga for Top Gun should have won. Give either or would have been nice. you know, and I've never heard of R&R, but I mean, good for them, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I never personally saw it myself, so I never really knew what the movie was when they first announced it on the Oscars. But yeah, I mean that's just I guess that's just really what it is. I mean, those writers or whoever votes for on them sees the movie and then they just
Yeah,
vote on best. And sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. I mean,
no,
Yeah.
of course,
but it's just based on the performance. So
yeah. But
Well, were there any other upsets that you had during Oscar night, or were you just happy with all the
no, that was it. I heard, um, when Lenny Kravitz did the In Memorial, I heard that was good. I heard he left out a few people though, but I heard that was good.
yeah, I mean, when I didn't see Kevin Conroy's name in there
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Bob Saget's name in there, um, he wasn't in there, right? I have to go over it.
No, no,
He's
they
in there,
left
right?
them
Okay,
out.
when I didn't see like either one of those names in there or both of them, I should say. Um, yeah, I got a little surprised and shocked that he wasn't in there, but I guess I don't really know how they do it, but I guess there's only a certain amount of
Um,
stuff, or I don't know.
oh no, this is not the first year that they when they every time they do the In Memorial at the Oscars, they always leave people out. I don't know why they do that, but there's always one or two people missing year after year.
I,
How could you?
I
Yeah, how could you put in Batman?
Yeah,
I don't know. It was stupid on their parts. Okay, they're not include the people that had just passed. Not include them. I'm guessing they do this stuff. Maybe a couple of months in advance. I don't know.
Mhm.
Or they probably felt that he wasn't. He was mostly known from television. I'm like, that's just ridiculous.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Um, did you have any other questions for him, Ian?
Um, yeah, you said Jimmy Kimmel was a very good host. Now, you know about his feud with Matt Damon, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, how did that handle very well during the show?
I thought he handled it good. They didn't really talk about it. Of course, he did mention the elephant in the room, which was the Will Smith thing.
Yeah,
Not too much, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw part of that opening. He was telling them what people they have to get through to get to him. So I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You have to get through Creed to get to him. You have to get through Michelle Yeoh to get to him, the Mandalorian. So that was pretty clever. That was pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, no, I did like it too. He was very good. Oh, I mean, overall, at the end of the day, you know, if I want to watch an Oscar host, I'll go to Billy Crystal, but of course, he won't do it again. But I thought he was very good, Jimmy Kimmel. And I gotta say, like, I have a lot of crazy Oscar moments, like year after year. So, but I thought this was good. No craziness.
Yeah. One more question from me, and if Ian has something afterwards, he can. Um, how does this Oscars compare to all the other years? Like, was this better than last year or the year before that, or how does this compare to other years?
Pretty good, because they got a lot of movies that I wanted to win. So to win in my book. I mean, we seen many crazy Oscar moments. Like we've seen like obviously when La La Land didn't win, but Manchester, when they got the movie wrong, that was that was pretty funny. And also when Marlon Brando didn't want the Oscar, so we called up some Indian woman to come up. That I thought that was interesting, and of course the classic Oscar moment when Adrian Brody gets his Oscar, decides to make out with Halle Berry. You know,
just to correct.
so
just to correct you for saying it was Native American in that woman.
Oh, okay.
Woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay. My mistake. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Don't apologize to me. Just apologize to the internet. So
oh,
just
okay.
No, but overall, it was a good Oscar. No craziness. No, everything I wanted to win. What?
yeah.
Ian, you got
And
any other questions?
No, I got no other questions because I think we covered everything. It's great to hear your thoughts about the Oscars. And
yeah,
who do you want to host next year?
Well, if Andrew would have it his way, he would vote. He would host
I
next.
hope, but I mean, I wouldn't mind Billy Crystal. But again, he's not doing it.
I don't think Billy's going to do it again. Billy has probably the highest, the longest range of hosting. The
Yeah,
Oscars.
That's
Because he
that's
went
what, that's
from
9 times.
was that?
That's 9 times, right?
Yeah,
He's hosted.
I think it's 9 times. I don't know.
it probably is 9 times.
Something like that.
Yeah, but maybe Steve Martin would be nice, or some, definitely like a comedian, of course.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, perfect. So one more thing while we have you here. You you're working at a new show, is that correct?
yeah.
What's it called?
You wanna Yeah.
The Doll's House with Jessica Chastain.
You wanna tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah. So basically, it's an hour and 45 minutes. No intermission, and it's a period piece. You know, um, basically, it's about this woman who goes through abuse. They go through her life. It's a very heavy show. Great well acting. Um, you know, it's a pretty good show. I like it. But I will say though, if you come to the show, um, just make sure you go to the bathroom, because it is a quiet show, and unfortunately, if you get up out of your seats, you can't come back to your seats. You have to stay in the back.
Hmm.
So just get that out of the way, before the show starts. You got plenty of time.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Well, so that actually sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Ian, what do you think?
Who doesn't love a gripping drama?
yeah.
It's pretty good casting. I've heard
Hmm.
it's gotten great reviews. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's gonna go to June 10th.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So sounds like a pretty interesting show.
Yeah.
So I guess where's it playing? What theater is it?
Hudson Theater on 44th.
Okay,
Hudson
so
Theater.
we had a chance to go and see the Doll's House.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
All sounds the Hudson Theater. All right, sounds
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get a chance to see it or go there. Maybe check it out.
Yeah.
So we'll
Well, love to have you there. Before I leave, I did want to say, thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course.
no problem.
And also, with the Oscars, congratulations on the winners and all the nominees. Great movies. And then next year, I'm sure there'll be more good movies. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
I'll host and I'll come out of my PJs.
I don't know.
He said this,
I-
folks. He said this.
No, that's all on him. That's all on him. He says
So
these things. That's really on him. So
yeah,
but yeah, Andrew, thanks for coming on and
Yeah, no
you know,
problem.
talking about the Oscars and the show, and
Yeah,
hopefully you'll come on again soon and
yeah,
about more stuff.
absolutely.
yeah. All
Thanks
right.
for coming
Good
on.
night.
All right. Good night.
All right,
Okay.
that was pretty interesting.
Surprise, it really was. Before we end the show, we actually have one more topic to go through, which has caused a bit of a controversy. Um, James Gunn had recently announced that he was actually considering Ben Affleck to direct one of his DC projects,
Hmm.
obviously for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Ben has actually gone on the record saying that he would not direct anything under the James Gunn, leadership. And I had a feeling he would not do that. He wouldn't direct a project for James Gunn because I think Ben has moved on from the DC series because Zach is no longer part of it creatively, and also I think Ben also wants to do other projects,
Right.
like his movie Air, which is coming out very soon. It's about the whole making of the Air Jordan Nike sneakers for Michael Jordan.
I would really want to see that. Those are that sounds like a really good movie.
Yeah,
It looks pretty good too. So
yeah, it looks fantastic. But what's interesting was Ben has such a loyalty to Zach, you know, saying that he wouldn't want one vision other than Zack Snyder's. That takes a lot of loyalty and commitment because Ben loved doing what he did for Zack on Batman versus Superman, and Justice League before Zack had his personal tragedy, and then the new director took over, and the turmoil behind the scenes after that. Because in the interview that he gave for I believe Hollywood Reporter, he was just done with these type of franchises after that whole turmoil and just chaos from the behind the scenes of the making of Justice League.
hmm
But he did come back for Zack doing those extra scenes for his cut of Justice League, and now Ben is like, the Snyder Cut is actually my highest rated movie on I IMDb.
IMDb, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was actually the best movie that he played Batman in
yeah,
my opinion. And that's in my opinion. But the should have released the Zack Snyder cut earlier, but that's not our call. But I thought he was pretty good in that. One of the best he wasn't as Batman, so I enjoyed that.
yeah. But I do understand where Ben's coming from, not wanting to do anything from James Gunn's, leadership because again, it's not what he, had before, and it just wouldn't feel right. And I'm very glad, that he's, decided to move on and do his own projects because I would definitely like to see him more as a director, which we're getting to finally see, after a couple of years now because it was in between films where his last film, Live by Night, didn't quite do on the box office. So I'm hoping, I know Air is going to do great things, critically and financially. So I'm very curious to see where Ben goes from here as a director.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. His last successful one was Argo, which he did win for. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, it was Argo, right? I just want to get my facts straight.
it was Argo that he did win, I think, for Best Picture. He
Okay.
won Best Director, which was like,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Best Picture. He was your one for Best Director.
Okay. But yeah, so hopefully this movie, is a Golden Globe Oscar worthy movie for next year. So hopefully he gets back to hopefully this movie does well. But I agree with what you said. But he wishes James Gunn well on this moving forward with DC, but don't expect him to direct for him anytime soon. So
Yeah, sorry, folks. Not going to happen.
not gonna happen. Just one more topic before we close tonight. There was a quote out there yesterday, which I'm very excited about, by Kiefer Sutherland, who has recently been talking to the producers about bringing back 24. So, in his words, he said he he has some interesting ideas that he brought up to the producers, and one of the ideas that he brought back was he would like to see him getting break out of Russia. So that's an interesting idea that I would like to see them do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we kind of had that idea that when we would talk about. Sometimes we would talk about uh, how would they do another 24? With Jack Bauer.
Mhm.
This is
Right.
one of the ideas that we had. It would have been our movie pitch segment, but we didn't work at the kinks. We fine tune the story or
Yeah,
fine tune the threat. So I guess at least he's thinking about that. He's
I
thinking.
agree. Him talking to the producers, I feel like is moving in the right direction.
Yeah,
So
just need to get on paper and then on film before we'll grow old.
before he gets too old and he can't run anymore. So,
No, I was talking about us before we get
oh,
old.
but yes, I would want us to have another one before we get older and get
Yeah,
old. So, but very excited about it that he's been talking to them and hopefully he gets off the ground soon, and they make another one more before he closes out the character. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's gonna be it for us tonight. Once again, I'm Ian Miller,
I'm Andrew Smith.
and this has been Media Talk with Miller and Smith. Have a good night, folks.
Good night, guys.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.